So, good evening, guys. I know my title says Jamil Frazier, but I'm actually what Optavia calls Global Director with Optavia. And my name is Justin Avini, and I'm really excited to be here tonight. It's been a long day for me. I've been up since 3:30 Western or Pacific Standard Time, I guess you'd say. So I'm kind of in a fog right now, but I'm super excited to get on and go over starting point with you guys. And I got the wonderful Emily Flores, who I'll let say hi real quick.
Hi, I'm also on Western time out here in California.
We have fun around here. Delusional. Don't worry about me.
It's all right. At least we'll have a good laugh, if anything else.
Yeah, perfect.
So, yeah, starting point is now. Do you want to go ahead and share the slides?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't giving me the window option. April, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see the slides?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
Yay. So next. All right, cool, guys. So let's just kick off and get started. So hopefully all of you who are here have already been on an introduction Zoom with your coach and their mentor coach where the ball really starts rolling. So you are going to want to basically, as a new coach, stay super connected to your business coach. And that means calling, texting, messaging, carrier pigeon, however you want to stay in contact, but every single day staying in contact and staying as close as you can. I would say the second thing, really stay focused. Remember why you wanted to do this in the first place. I think sometimes we get stuck in the humdrum of, maybe setting up calls or people not picking up the phone and we can feel a little defeated, but I want you guys to just stay calm and remember why you wanted this. And third is just really to stay in the heart, get out of your head. There are people out there who really, really need us. So let's just follow the system, get out there and start being of service. Okay, so the good news is that your coaching business kit is already either on its way or to you already, but we want to start right away. There are definitely no clients in the box, as we always like to joke, so there's no reason to really sit around and wait for that box to come. It's my experience that if we start right away, typically we can find 5 to 6 people who are already ready to go or at least practice with us before the box even comes. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's like Emily said, there's really no clients in the box, right? And typically we want to do at least 3 to 5 practice calls with our coach. Preferably, to be honest with you, I would love to do at least 5 or 10 with you guys. Some of them you're going to be doing yourself to just get a little bit more acclimated with the verbiage and things like that. But you're also going to have your coach leading these calls at the beginning and kind of showing you how to do it. The easier it gets is just honestly doing it more. You can stare at your coach a lot and watch them how they do it and say, wow, how are you doing it so well? But I've come to find that the more you do it yourself, the more comfortable you'll get with that. So really these practice calls are just something that we're going to use to train you and kind of verbally show you how to get that going. Emily had also mentioned, get connected with your support team. They'll usually have a text message thread going with you or a Facebook Messenger. Usually it's a Facebook Messenger thread. They're going to help you set up the health assessments and kind of go over that. They're going to help you basically walk step by step through each one of these calls. Creating your list, guys, this is really important here. You want to start a list out. We say a hundreds list. It says 10 to 20 people on here, but honestly, if I could shift that for a second, really, you're going to start connecting with a lot of people. So yeah, you're going to start out with 10 to 20, and maybe the first 10 are going to be some of those practice calls. But honestly, don't stop there. Get into the idea of you're going to start writing down anybody and everybody you know. And another side note too is you're really going to want to start visualizing this. And this is a blessing to me, and I'll personally speak on this. I was not a weight loss candidate. I was somebody that was struggling mentally and financially, and which in turn probably would have led to being overweight because my health would have started to decline based on my situation and things like that. So I'm really excited that I was able to be in here. So when you're writing down a list, definitely don't just think of this as people that maybe need to lose weight. Think of people that are in a financial situation too, because it could be preventative maintenance. So like we mentioned here, usually your coach is going to help you try to work towards that CAB bonus. The CAB bonus is $100. And we want to usually do that within the first 30 days. So a lot of these practice calls are going to be important because they're going to be people that are on your heart, but then it's also going to have your coach work with you and towards acquiring those first 5 clients. So the cool thing is you can earn over $450 within the first 30 days, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, if you really look at it, that's almost tripling your money back from your coaching kit, or at least doubling it. But it's a little over $450 for your first 5 clients for just your first month. And then the company throws in a $100 cab bonus. So I think that's kind of cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, to be honest with you.
All right. So we just talked about senior coach and really how that's your guys' first milestone, but I really wanted to show you guys what's possible within Optavia as a company. So, when I first started coaching, my goals were pretty small in retrospect compared to what my goals are today. And it sort of reminds me of when we first talk to people and ask what their weight loss goals are. And they might start off by saying, 15 pounds. And then once they become a client, they tell you, well, really, I think it's more like 30. So I think a lot of us at first give a safe number and with our weight and our finances. So I just want to encourage you guys to really dream a little bit and not be stuck in fear of what if I can, or what if it doesn't happen. Be real. What if you did stick to it? What if this did work out? What if? So let's start thinking instead of what if in a negative, and more what's possible. So if you could dream a little bit bigger, look at executive director. That's something that I was able to do in about 6 weeks because I was really, really focused on achieving that because I wanted to stay home with my son. And that was what I needed to do in order to replace my income. So, just a lot is possible through coaching. And we wanted to let you guys know that from the get-go. Okay, sharing and caring rather than selling and telling. So when you're on these 3-way Zooms with your mentorship doing practice calls, you're going to notice a couple things right away. So for one, it's really a conversation. This isn't any kind of weird sales pitch. We're not selling anything, guys. So just remember that, write it down right now. We are not selling anything, and just underline it 1,000,000 times, because we are simply sharing what's happened for us and asking a lot of questions to find out what's important for the people that we're talking to. And really, during these 3-way phone calls, the other person is going to be doing way more talking than the person sharing. So 3-way communication, it's really where it's at in terms of being a new coach. It's awesome because you get to sit back and kind of learn apprentice style. Just mute yourself, smile, and take notes. So really let your mentor answer questions about price, how it works, etc., while you just kind of sit back and learn. So there's no need to be nervous because you're not the one that's even doing the talking at first. So if you start getting these questions before you get on a 3-way call with people, don't be afraid to say, I'm super new. I don't want to mess this up and give you the wrong info. So let's just wait until we get on with my mentor, if that's okay. And of course, they're going to say that's fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's really important to piggyback off of that, guys. Try not to get into a text off with these people, because we're gonna share with you in a second the verbiage that you're gonna use for those people. So just say, hey, I'm a little new at this, and I don't want to not give you the proper information. So let's just hop on a call and be able to do that with my mentor. I totally agree with you, Emily. So the power of three-way communication is so important, guys. So this is our health assessment. It's literally written down verbatim what you're going to be saying. And as your mentor is going over this, really, if I can edify anything right here, guys, I want you to understand that we need to find out the why before the how. That's honestly the biggest part, the why before the how. And I know there's other steps in here, but we want to make sure that that's what we're really doing. Most of the time we want to be talking at people, and we really don't want to be doing that. So here's the point where you're going to really learn how your mentor coach is going to learn what they need to know, where the areas of the health program or even the coaching aspect is going to benefit them. You're going to set up the 3-way Zoom calls. You're going to do 5 to 7 of those, developing the skills. The first 3 or 4 your coach will probably do for you. The next 2 to 3 you'll do yourself, and you'll kind of have those as a debrief after each one. You'll kind of go through these and see how they went. It's really anytime. Who can you invite, to lead the calls is basically your mentor. And also, if they're not available, their mentor is available. So it's really a team coaching aspect. but you're really going to want to watch and see how they do it, and really have the health assessment in front of you when they're going through this. Each person is going to say it a little bit differently and have their own twist to it, but it really comes down to just filling out these questions and really understanding the information. Then obviously the how is filling out the health assessment, binder, pen, debrief. I kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier when we were talking about the Zoom calls. But it's pretty simple. Like Emily said, you're going to literally be staring at your coach doing it for you, and at least 2 or 3 times before you're actually going to hop on and do it yourself. So like I mentioned earlier, when Emily said, you're not going to really be doing this at the beginning, your coaches, these are some of the text messages that they're going to be sending off. I was wondering if you could do me a favor. I'm assuming you've known I've lost quite a bit of weight recently, and I've decided to pay it forward and become a health coach. One of my next steps in this training is to listen to my coach explain the program to 3 different people. I'm not going to read this whole thing verbatim, but basically, would you mind being one of those 3? Now, most people in this situation are going to respond back and say, sure, or what is it? And that, at my point, for a side tip, is just say, hey, you know what? These are great questions you're asking me, but actually I'm trying to learn. So if you wouldn't mind getting on this training call, just so I could hear my coach explain it to you, that would really do me a favor. Would you mind doing that? And to be honest with you, if they're not in a place where they want to, that's okay. You can text somebody else, and when they're ready, and you can move on. Some people that may have noticed your results at this point, if you've done the program before you decided to coach, and some of us decide to coach right away. I did the same thing. So if you have people that are noticing or asking you questions and you really kind of don't know what to say to them, here's a great opportunity right here. I know you've been asking about the program. Due to my success, I recently decided to pay it forward. Same thing. When can you get on a call in the next day or so? And once again, don't get into a text off with them. Just share, hey, I'd really love to have you get on so my coach can explain it to you and I can kind of learn what I need to do. Would you mind doing that?
Okay, so you are going to be hearing your mentor ask a ton of questions on these calls, and you might be surprised, honestly, how little they speak and how much of the conversation is really them just asking a lot of questions, because our goal in these is to really dream with these folks and get them thinking about what's possible. It's not a 30-minute presentation of your mentor talking. So they are going to go over things like the health assessment that we discussed. And if people aren't ready, just remember it's a no, yes, but it means not yet. So it's not really a hard no. We're always going to want to send a follow-up text and keep following up, really starting them off right. So my goal when I do a health assessment is to talk far less than the potential client. So hopefully that's what you're observing as you're listening to your mentor as well. And then what if it is yes? So understanding what's best for clients. Unless someone has an allergy or specific dietary issue, every single new client is getting the optimal kit with the books. And this makes the difference between a 5-minute process and a 20-minute process. So the only reason we should be individually picking boxes ever are for special circumstances. And the reason why it's helpful to really facilitate that first order, like I consider it like a nice concierge service that I do for my clients. So I make it easy for them. They don't need to worry about the website. I do it for them. So we are not sending brand new clients to our website to order for themselves. We are ordering for them. And then we teach them how to edit their Premiere during month 2. So remember that you're not sending people to your websites. That's really important. Okay, so our story, the power of your story. So you guys, your story is really everything. It's the cornerstone of this whole thing. So you should know your story even more than you need to know small details of the program. You'll reach way more people just by being excited about your story and how it could possibly make them feel versus program details, promise. So don't worry if you're brand new and thinking, I don't know enough. You don't need to. That's what we're here for. So just really stay in the feeling when you're crafting your story. People don't care so much, how you met your coach on Facebook, and they don't care about all these little details. They really just want to connect to the emotion because that's what's going to touch their heart. So, instead of saying to people, I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, it would be more like, I feel more comfortable sliding down the slide with my son at the park, or, I don't have to take naps after work like I used to. That's the kind of stuff that's going to connect with people. So just maybe reflect and remember how you felt before you started, why you finally took the plunge. How did you feel after that first week when you finally had hope again, when you got on the scale and saw it moving? So that's more what we're looking for when we talk about the power of your story.
Okay, guys. So the important different make of, I can't even read right now. Sorry. Working closely with your coaches. Team coaching is really important. One of the things that you really want to understand is this isn't do it yourself. Sometimes we feel like we're a lone ranger and we can kind of get out there and do stuff like that. But to be honest with you, working hand in hand, closely connected with your team is one of the coolest things ever. Because I mean, if you're willing to have people out there helping you, you might as well take advantage of that. Learning from them, understanding and transferring skills to each other is really one of the coolest things about team coaching, because you're going to see how they do it. They're going to do it for you. They're going to do it with you. And then you're going to do it on your own. So partnering with them is really, really important. One of the biggest ones that we utilize eventually, and your coach will kind of share with you the time frame of when you want to do it, is, and don't go do it right now. Do it when your coach suggests to do it. So don't go blast a bunch of stuff on social media, even though we get excited. That's okay. But the thing is we want to start to live out loud. We talk about hobbies and things like that, but living out loud. And like I had mentioned to you guys from my story, I was not a weight loss candidate, right? I was a person that was eventually going to probably be overweight due to my current job situation. And if I wanted to start a family, and if I wanted to start purchasing a home and doing things a little over 5 years ago, a lot of that would have taken out time of my health, because that's usually how most people are. So living out loud is going to create that abundant look for yourself also, where people are not necessarily going to maybe need weight loss, but maybe they need a little bit more financial freedom to have more less stress in their life. So this is where we're going to really utilize social media to live out loud and kind of show people what we do as health coaches, not only physically, but mentally and financially. But like I said, please wait till you work with your mentor coach on the proper times to be doing that. Obviously, we want to get these practice calls in first and really understand what we're supposed to be saying before we just go out there and post something, because then it can be pretty overwhelming. I'm going to be honest with you, boot camps and even events are every Saturday morning, and they're also Monday evenings, and you want to have those to be rocks in your calendar. Almost cool deal. Awesome music. Good intro. And you want to make sure these are rocks in your calendar. So 7 a.m. boot camps on Saturday mornings, between 5:30, and 6 on Monday evenings. These should be rocks in your calendar. And also local events. I'll even throw that out there for a second. You want to really utilize these things, guys. People have paved the path for the proper steps for you to do. And it's literally like I look at it as like a winning lottery ticket. If you scratch the numbers the way your mentor coach suggests, you're going to have a lot of success really fast. And I'm sure some of us on here, or maybe even a lot of us on here, want to start to build those dreams and those legacies for our families and friends, and have more time freedom as well, as good health. So boot camps are a must. That's like pretty much a no-brainer. And events, like I said, I'll even throw that in there. So action steps. Invite 5 people already identified to the 3A conversations with your coach. Obviously, you're going to be sending off those text messages I just shared with you a few minutes ago. Within 24 hours, right? We want to get those rocking and rolling. Personally, I think you should do them like right away when you're on the call with your coach. The sooner the better. The faster you get them going, the faster you can be educated and kind of moving forward from there. Complete at least 2 to 3 three-way conversations in the next 3 days. So that's something we want to do like yesterday. Even if you don't have your coaching kit, the cool thing is a lot of this is virtual. We can get you rocking and rolling, and your coach can get you moving in a forward momentum. So one of the biggest things I'd love to share with you is don't wait for that magic box to show up at your house. You don't need to get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready. You can actually get these things going while you're waiting for your box. Debrief with your coach. Make sure you debrief, because that's the time where you're going to learn, how did the call go? How do you think it went? How did your friend respond? What did you learn? Really want to go over the health assessment and really understand that, because after these 2 to 3 calls, guess who's going to be doing the next 2 to 3, right? So we want to really shoot for that bonus too, guys. The CAB bonus is kind of cool. I mean, the company really starts, and you'll start to see this. I mean, that's just the perks. They'll start throwing money at you just for supporting more people and doing certain things. So we really want to shoot for that bonus in the next few weeks, right? Especially if you're a new coach, you got 30 days to do that. Is this still me, Emily?
Yeah, I can do it if you want.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
All right. So remember, guys, you can start off a client anywhere, anytime. That's kind of the beauty of our business. If you have a phone, really a phone, and your binder, you're good to go. So, and just remembering to be social, yes, on social media, but don't forget to be social in life. Like, just be a normal, friendly person. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've met at Target, the one place that I like to go a lot. And, they've either become clients or they're coaches on this call right now. So, use FaceTime, real FaceTime, not phone FaceTime too. Make sure that you're in Agents of Transformation. That's Optavia's official Facebook group. So if your coach hasn't already put you in there, add yourself. They'll ask you about your client ID just to make sure you are a coach and you'll be in. And then always utilizing, we have Optavia Coach Answers for tons of information in there. But honestly, number one is just stay in contact with your mentor. We'll tell you exactly what to do next. And we are glad you were here. For those of you that are on late because the leadership call ran over, no worries. It's going to be recorded. But we thank you. And next up, we will have Annika with our client support training.
Awesome. Annika, let's see. So I'm going to stop.